There she is, guys, in all her glory. The assembly is pretty simple on this thing. There's only like 3 things that we have to do to assemble the actual unit itself. The 3 steps that I have to actually assemble is going to be to put this on, which this bolts down right here. There's also tools and the bolts and stuff in here. I have to flip this around and bolt that on. And then there is a chip guard that goes down here on the side. I've got to bolt that on. I took this off. I think the screws are in here for, all right, we got some tools in here. Let's see what all we got in here. I think that's the wrench for the teeth, to tighten the teeth up. Got a 19, a 13, a 17, and a 15. Oh, we got more wrenches. It looks like we have all the wrenches we need to work on this thing right here. So I'm gonna set those aside for now. Should be all the hardware I need in here. Showing you, got the nut. You want to put the lock washer on, then put the regular washer, and then it's a tapped hole, so we're just going to slide it in the hole. I could put a cheater pipe on here, but I'm pretty sure I'd spread this wrench. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the little tool holder back on here. In order to put it on, because of where these holes are, you're going to have to take the lid off. And since pointing this way will be the side that I get off the tractor, I'm going to go ahead and just orient it facing that way. Good.
You know, most people don't know this, but you can put your tools in there.
So that's the middle link bushing, or top link bushing, sorry, not the middle link bushing. I'm gonna put this back on there. I got these 2 lower links here. So we're gonna put these in also. Just as simple as pulling these pins, putting those in there, and then putting these pins back on. That's all there is to it right there. I ordered these off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below if you happen to have an iMatch also. All right, now I'm gonna have Cole go ahead and hook this back up. All right, so I've got 2 more things to go ahead and install. There's a saw holder that goes here, and then there's a little safety plate that goes here. I'm gonna go ahead and put those on now. All right, so there's 3 holes here in the stump grinder, and here's the plate. It's also got 3 holes in it. Just goes on top like that, and put some screws in them, and we'll tighten them down. So we got that. I do believe that the saw holder is in the box. So the chainsaw blade goes through this, then you tighten it down, and then the saw sits on there. And it's only for transport. You don't do it when you're actually cutting. Looks like it. But yeah, your saw just goes on there. Tighten that down, clamps the blade in there, or the bar, and your saw's here. And again, it's just for transport purposes. This is not to be meant to hold your saw while you're actually using the stump grinder. All right, so we've got it on the tractor. We've got the chip protection plate here, the saw holder. We've got the toolbox holder right here. And we put the bushings in for the eye match for the John Deere. Next thing is to put the drive shaft on. The PTO shaft has a slip clutch in it, but we have to take a measurement from the locking grooves on the tractor shaft and the locking grooves on the shaft on the stump grinder. That has to be at least 35 inches. If it is not 35 inches, then I'm gonna have to cut the shaft. And I'm really hoping I don't have to do that. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to lower this so that the shafts are pretty much parallel from each other. And then we're gonna get that measurement. Now we're gonna take this tape measure and get a measurement from this groove all the way to this groove. And we are golden. We are 39.5 inches. It says that if you're not more than 6 inches longer than the shaft, that you're good to go. We're not below the 35 inches, so we don't have to cut the shaft. All right, so these two boys of mine are gonna help me with this part. We went ahead and we pulled the two bolts out of the slip clutch right there. This is what's going on the spline shaft on the flywheel of the stump grinder. So we're gonna try to get this side fitted on and bolted up, and then we'll fit it up to the tractor. After that, we've got a little procedure to do with burning in the clutch and setting the springs. And everything came really nice and greased up. This is just a little inspection port. Right there. So I don't know if you can see through there, but those holes are lined up with the groove. Now those bolts need to go back in and be tightened down, and we should be good.
See?
Hey, it works. And then these safety chains here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna rip these bags off. Got another one back here. Gonna rip that one off as well. And then we're just going to till the end, and then they have to be tightened back so the spring stack height is 1.26 inches. And that's for 15 to 20 horsepower. This is a 25 horsepower tractor, but it's only 17 horsepower at the PTO. So we've got to set it for the 17 horsepower range because that's what the PTO is. So don't set this for what your tractor rating is, because that's not necessarily the horsepower that you're getting at the PTO.
We're gonna put a mark across the friction pads on the slip clutch here. That way we can confirm slippage.
For the clutch break-in procedure, you're supposed to loosen all the nuts on all the springs, turn the PTO on twice, about 3 seconds each time, and then stop the PTO after.
So we're gonna go ahead and cinch those up to 1.26 inches. Probably gonna round that out to just 1 1/4. Can you see if that spring is 1 1/4? 1 1/4.
So 1.26 inches for this horsepower is what the spring should be compressed to. We just went to 1.25. Hopefully that's close enough. I don't think that little bit's gonna make a difference. So we should be set up and ready to grind some stumps here this weekend. All right, so we've got this installed. We got the slip clutch set up. The only thing left to do is to tighten the teeth on here, but it's starting to get dark and it's hot. So we're gonna wait to do that. The other thing we're gonna do is check all of our grease zerks, make sure everything is greased before we put it into operation. However, it looks like MechMaxx did a great job of greasing everything. We're just gonna double check everything before we actually start grinding a stump this weekend. But there you have it. There's what you have to do to assemble the MechMaxx SG24 stump grinder. Pretty sweet. I'm excited to give it a test run.